Hey y'all, it's Nate again. I got this idea for this video after watching one of DavidBrandNew's videos about a bike he was reviewing by a company, I think it was EUY, and basically after he reviewed the bike, he went to their website and saw that their CEO was literally named John Doe, their CFO, everybody on their team, they used a bunch of models for their photos, their stock photos. You can reverse Google search them. So it got me thinking, how many more companies are like this in the e-bike world? And really, it was not very difficult to find. So after I watched that video by DavidBrandNew, I went to EUY's website, EUYbike.com, and basically all that stuff that DavidBrandNew observed about their CEO and CFO and the photos and everything, they're not there anymore. They probably took them down after that video. And if you go to their part of the website that says About Us, you can go down to our story here, EUY. What does this stand for? What does EUY stand for? Excellent, ultra fast, young. You can see that young is a very common theme with these e-bikes. I don't know, maybe they just don't like old people. Anyway, I found that the acronym EUY, standing for excellent, ultra fast, and young, this is kind of odd. But honestly, as I'll show you here with some of these other companies, that's not even the worst part. Moving along, if you go to Amazon and basically search electric bike, you'll see some of the most popular bikes out there that are pretty affordable. I just want to start with, let's see what we got here. Start with a bike called Engwe bike. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. But this is a pretty popular bike. You'll see a lot of reviews for this bike on Amazon. And again, if you kind of go to their About Us type of page, you see this nice looking photo of three guys on some bicycles, and like, oh man, this is a coming of age story. Okay, our story, our beginning. The story begins with three young riding enthusiast adventure. They were pretty sure to ride a 38-mile mountainous trip in 5 hours. Unexpectedly, they had been riding on the shady side of the mountain uphill all the way. As the night grew darker, they felt cold, exhausted. For the final 16 miles, they could no longer ride and had to push their bikes against the wind. Carl said, "If only we had bikes with electricity to give us a ride." Wow. So Carl had an epiphany. Okay, and these three young people, there it is again. So anyway, this photo here, if you download this photo and throw it into Google Images, of course, it's a stock photo. But again, I don't have anything against the usage of stock photos. It's more about if you're presenting a company as, essentially three dudes. I mean, this photo just makes it seem like you guys were three Portland backyard coffee roasters all of a sudden wanted to start like an electric bike company. The English in this paragraph just makes it seem very weird. Again, I myself am of Korean descent, and so I speak a little foreign languages, but it kind of reminds me of when you throw in some foreign languages into Google Translate, you get like 99% of it there. It's like the English is there, but when the native speaker is reading it, just something feels a little bit off. Whenever I travel to Korea and I see some sort of odd translation for something, here you can see the first one I showed you here, not allowed to pregnant. Okay, what they're basically saying here, this is a train that doesn't allow those pregnant riding in a certain portion of the train. But again, this translation is really weird. So here's another company called Heybike. If you go to their website, heybike.com, and then you kind of go to their Our Story portion, and you'll see our story. Our founder, Jasion, had a life-changing epiphany while working in a high-rise office building a few years ago. He couldn't deal... Yeah, again, going down to when William and Jasion met. William had been in the outdoor cycling tools industry for a decade, who was another cycling enthusiast sharing the same vision for making commuting more convenient. That's when they founded Heybike and set out to create their first bike. Okay, so these are clearly models for their founders, if Jasion and William actually exist. And again, I have no issues with people using stock photos or people using models, but what I have issue with is purporting that these particular individuals are your actual founders, and if they were some sort of, this was like a grassroots, organization. These two dudes in their backyard founded this company like Apple. So if you Google, Jasion eBike, because I've never even heard of the name Jasion before, but Jasion eBike. Well, what do you know? There's another company called Jasion eBike. Okay, so go to their website. And again, let's see, go down to their About Us, their company. And the Jasion brand story. Jasion was born to a group of young people. There we go, young again. It kind of reminds me of that meme, like, hey, young people, how do you do? Okay, last bike I want to mention here. I've seen a lot of reviews for this bike on YouTube, and they offer a pretty compelling folding bike with full suspension. I think it's pretty neat. But again, if you go to their About Us portion of their website, let's scroll down here. Okay, we want to tell you. Okay, we want to tell you. Okay, all right. Our brand is directly controlled. We want to tell you what? All right. Okay. Anyway, our brand is directly controlled by the company. What? Okay. In order to maintain the price, we use the consumer direct model to cut out the middleman. Advanced manufacturing technology R&D team and excellent appearance design team make Polarna e-bike a cool brand among young Americans. There we go. My theory is that these companies are trying to mimic companies like Lectric. By the way, I'm not sponsored by Lectric. I bought mine with my own money. But just look at their site here. The story that they put here seems real. They have first and last names. Wow, such a low threshold here. Their CEO looks like he drinks a lot of Philz or Blue Bottle coffee. So in conclusion, I just have an issue with a company not being genuine or authentic. If they aren't being authentic with themselves, that likely reflects in their product or customer service, and etc. So ironically, the most genuine statement from EUY, the first bike manufacturer I mentioned back in DavidBrandNew's video. So if you see there, quote, the EUY bicycle company was born. EUY bicycle company has many years of factory experience. We used to just help other bicycle brands to produce OEM. Now we start to do our own retail. Okay, so clearly they were manufacturing for another e-bike company, and it seems like, hey, let's rip off these bikes and make it ourselves. So these companies are clearly in it for the cash grab, and this necessarily wouldn't be a problem for things that don't cost very much, but now we're talking about bikes that cost over $1,000. So honestly, I just made this video to help people out, and at the end of the day, everybody has to do their own research. Let me know if you guys like this video, and please like and subscribe, and yeah, thanks for watching.